Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming to the WordPress KC live streaming virtual meetup. We got a lot of anxious people I see in the comments. Where are you at? I don't hear anything. Are we going yet? So what's funny is last week, after we started right on the dot at 7, or a couple of weeks ago, we started right on the dot at 7 p.m. and people were like, oh my goodness, I missed stuff. Start later. So we decided to give a couple minutes to get started. My name is Travis Flans. I am one of the organizers of WordPress KC. And as you can tell, and as I'm sure you're aware with everything going on in your own lives, we are going to be live streaming our presentations for the foreseeable future. Hopefully not too far into the future. But our second Tuesday of the month, we have a Building with WordPress session that covers anything from plugin selection, theme selection, to in-depth development. Tonight, we're going to talk about using WooCommerce with your WordPress website and getting set up there. On the last Monday of the month, we have a Marketing with WordPress session that will cover anything from blogging to SEO, social media, marketing automation, everything on the other side, the marketing side with WordPress. And tonight, our presenter is Sarah Humphrey. Those of you who have been around the WordPress KC group for a while know Sarah. She's been one of our organizers for, I'm not exactly sure how long. I will let her introduce herself and tell us how long she's been with the group. And I am going to just slip into the background now and let Sarah take this over. Please ask your questions in the YouTube chat. We will be answering those and popping those onto screen. I'm going to disappear, though, and I will only pop in if I think maybe there's a question that needs to be clarified a little more. So, Sarah, thank you for presenting, and take it away.
All right. Thank you, Travis, for the introduction. Yeah, I think I've been an organizer for 2 years now, I think. And I'm super nervous about presenting online. So you guys, if you have questions, please put it in the comments. And then if I miss it, it's Travis's job to make sure, draw my attention to it, make sure I don't miss those, because I might get confused easily here. And also, my kids and my dog might come in. Who knows what's going to happen. Yeah, and I'm so glad to see, some familiar faces in the comments too, because I was worried it would be strange, but I see people I know. So hi guys, thanks for being here. So I approached this presentation. I put this together first back for Global Entrepreneurship Week back in November of last year. And it was for a slightly different audience because I was kind of introducing WordPress and WooCommerce to a few people. And I feel like this is a WordPress-centric crowd. So I really kind of concentrated on my go-to solutions. I'm not a strong developer. I work with a variety of B2B and small businesses, and I'm kind of just try and help them provide solutions for whatever they need. So I rely on a lot of plugins, judiciously used. And then I've come to see, custom programming as an excellent solution for some things as well. So I'll talk about that a little bit. Anyhow, I kind of trimmed this back because I figure people have a little bit of computer fatigue by 7 o'clock on a Tuesday night. So I'm going to try not to go too long, and I'm going to try and leave time for questions. And if I don't, my contacts on the last slide, and I'm going to post these later. So you don't need to write down links or names or anything like that. You'll get that all from my presentation. And you can email me with your questions if I miss them. So let's get going. All right. Okay, first of all, here's me. My company is 94 West Design. I don't think I said that. And I'm native Kansas Cityan. There's me and my hubs in Colorado. And I included this slide because I started my own e-commerce website a couple of years ago with my brother. And back when we were allowed to leave the house, we went to China in 2016. So they have this giant market, this giant trade show that they do twice a year in the spring and the fall in Guangzhou, China. And if you're ever looking for a product for e-commerce, it's there. It's not only do they make the products there, they make the machines that make the products there. And it was just a really, really cool experience. So my e-commerce business only lasted for about a year. It turns out I like designing websites more than I like actually running an e-commerce business. But I'm so glad I did it. Oh, hey, Matt. It turns out I'm so glad I did it just because I learned so much about the logistics of running an e-commerce business. So I'm able to help out my clients more who are just getting started with a little bit of extra, been there, done that kind of knowledge. And we sold 3D printer kits and accessories if you're interested in that. So why WooCommerce? Obviously, we're all WordPress people here for the most part. It's got all the same benefits as WordPress. Easy to use, good for SEO, highly customizable. And of course, it's got the detriments too. A lot of times it can be slow, which is obviously not good for e-commerce. So that's something that you just have to be aware of when you're putting it together. As far as what kind of products you can sell with WooCommerce, honestly, almost anything. I've done stores for digital projects or products, simple or variable physical products, customizable photo products. I've used it for a summer camp registration system. This picture up here, it was a car show, a giant car show that unfortunately got canceled for this August. But you can really use it for anything. I've used it for a lot in B2B for turning a company's website into a product catalog. So it's where, for instance, maybe the pricing depends upon volume or it depends upon your customer, the size of the customer, the pricing changes. You don't want to display that. You want them to talk to your sales team. Or it's like a kind of a custom development product. So you can like turn your website into a catalog where it doesn't have the full functionality, but you can show people what you have. So works for a lot of things. Let's see. So anyhow, I'm going to kind of concentrate on 9 things tonight. One will be customizing your products and your product pages, discount rules and sales, using that catalog mode, distributor and wholesale pricing, how to make it easier to manage your products in the back end, optimizing images, site speed. I'm mentioning and I'm including the size of the slides just because it's got some good reference links. However, I think we've kind of been over this a lot at other WordPress Kansas City presentations. Travis has done an excellent one on site speed. So I'm not going to get into that because I think it's just going to be too long for tonight. I also talk about trust signals, submitting your products to Google's product feed in the Google Merchant Center, and then testing and maintenance. And actually, I think that Travis asked everybody to submit, if you have a store or if you have a type of product, I would love to know what it is, just in case I can, in case I can kind of mention that. But anyhow, so customizing product options. Okay, first of all, I'm a huge Divi person. If you guys want to mention in the comments who uses Divi? I know several of us organizers do. So out of the box, WooCommerce, I think it works really, really well. And I would hesitate to customize too much on your website because people have an expectation for how WooCommerce or how e-commerce works. You add the product to your cart, you get taken to the cart page, the checkout flow, all those kinds of places are not a place to be creative, in my opinion. How you showcase your product, the content you write about your product, the photos you use, to me, that's how you sell the product. There's no need to get creative with the technical aspect of your website. So I would, it looks like, okay, we've got a couple of Divis, Genesis, and an Elementor. Okay, so, and this is my only Divi specific plugin recommendation here. But anyhow, I would hesitate to get too creative with the flow of your e-commerce website. I would really only get creative with your products and your product display. It's just kind of the best UX, in my opinion. But for those of us who aren't that technical, who want a drag and drop editor, who love something like Divi, the WooCommerce Builder plugin, and this is a link here too, so you guys can all get all this later. It's a paid plugin. It's well worth it. So what it does, you guys who use Divi will recognize kind of what this new module graphic here looks like. You can actually reconfigure the product layout so it's not spec, which is really, really nice. And you can change how the archive pages look, the individual products. You can create a layout and then apply it per category. So if you have, just different categories, maybe clothing and then accessories, and you want the archive pages for those to look different, you can apply that. You can create a layout using the library, save it, and then apply it per category or per product if you want to do just like a few unique ones using the WooCommerce Builder plugin. So I highly recommend that. Totally worth paying for that. All right. So another one of my favorite plugins to use for customizing the product display is the WooCommerce Extra Product Options. This is another paid one. I think it's maybe $29 or something. This one, and that, like I said, that was my only Divi specific plugin. So this one works with any major theme. And I think all the ones that have been mentioned, it would work fine with Genesis and Elementor. I think it worked just fine. So anyhow, this one's really cool because and it was used to create this little layout here where, when you're going through and you have a product that has like a different color or a different fabric, different options of that, like different visual options, you can actually, click these options. You can upload a swatch, name it, click on it, and then you can use that to change this main picture. So if you want to, you want to try the sunset orange cream blanket here, you click on that and that's what'll show in the main one. It also has conditional logic. So if somebody chooses a certain size of something and then there's different colors available in that size only, you can build forms. If people want to customize something, like have their name embroidered on it or printed, they can do it there. Yeah, they've got radio buttons, all different kinds of variations. And you can change the pricing with this plugin too. So if you guys have a lot of custom products, can't say enough for this plugin. It's definitely one of my favorites. Works really, really smoothly. And you can apply things, you can apply these things to categories or the individual products. And you guys, if you have any specific products, totally put it in the comments there. Okay, this next one, WooCommerce product add-ons. This is a really, really simple one, but it's nice because you can add just a little something extra to your product. So maybe you have, like I said, a simple customization, or you can add, I don't know, an extra set of shoelaces with a pair of shoes. The WooCommerce product add-ons is a perfect one for that. And I should say too, everything you do to your site, every plugin that you add on, it's going to add a layer of development, a layer of maintenance, might slow things down, debugging, conflicts. Whether it's your shop or a shop you're making for somebody else, I think starting out slow and going with like your minimum product variations is the best way to go, and using as few of these plugins as possible. So kind of map it out at the beginning and see what you really need, and don't just like throw these on like all of them on the same site. Choose what you need and use that for sure. And then this WooCommerce uploads files. This was a really cool plugin I used, and I'm pretty sure that it was, no, I guess that one wasn't a free one. But that one was a cool one. I did a website for a guy who printed things on metal. So he would do like custom photos on like different metal sheets and different sizes. And this would allow people to upload a photo. And you could make sure using the parameters in this plugin that it was like the right orientation, the right image size, the right resolution, everything like that, the right file type. You could set all those parameters and have the file name show, and it would actually show a little thumbnail of the image so that you could be sure that they were uploading the correct, it kind of lets the customer make sure that they uploaded the right photo, I should say. And then here's just another example of the extra product options plugin. So you can see I have a gal that, a local who, she makes boots for horses in competition. And it's like completely customizable, and they're like orthopedic boots, I guess, for horses. So using that extra product add-ons, extra product options, you can do a whole build your own product basically. So you get to choose, is it like the full boots, is the, the front, the hinds, and then you could choose the strap pattern, the size, the boot color, and then the binding color. So you click all these options using the swatches. Whoops, went too far. And it actually, like, some of them cost more, so it would just kind of conditionally add on this cost and then give you your total cost at the bottom. All right, this is one that I just did this week. So I've got a guy who, a client, I should say. Thanks, Carissa. Carissa says, wow, that's super snazzy. Thank you. Oh, we've got to eventually know if you can incorporate gift codes. Yes, we can do gift codes. I'll get to that question in just a second. So this is something a little bit more complicated I did, and it's somebody who has like these really cool vintage 1971 Mustangs, and he has a showroom he just opened out in Texas, and he wants to sell these Mustangs along with some other muscle cars he has, and apparently they all have something called a Marti Report that goes with them, which is like a history of the car, I guess, kind of a Carfax or something. And we needed it. He wants to add products to the website, and he's not super tech savvy and not super patient. So we had to make it just kind of like very kind of step by step, very simple, very fast for him. So one thing we did was I created, using advanced custom fields, created a file upload field for the Marti Report and inserted that into WooCommerce in the back end, which was very, very simple, and used the free version of advanced custom fields. And then this does take a little bit of, I guess, programming, but the advanced custom field site has tons of code snippets that you can like grab and go with, just kind of like change them up a little bit. Basically what I did is I took their example PHP code, changed it to match my my field name, and put it in the description of the WooCommerce. You just go through the WooCommerce, find the template, and that would be a presentation on its own. But you pop it right in there, and now on the front end, it displays the uploaded report. So he's easily able to like add a car, add the report, and then it just like shows perfectly in the front end without him having to do anything, and without him having to use the media manager or figure out how to insert a link or anything like that. So advanced custom fields is amazingly powerful. Let's see, and oh, we're getting WooCommerce product search going. Okay. Okay, here we go. I'll get to that question about gift codes. So the built-in coupon oh my gosh, I didn't change the photo here. I'll ignore that photo. The text is right though. Okay, so the native coupon capabilities in WooCommerce are really good. You can do all kinds of things. You can add a gift code. You can apply it to a certain product category. It can be a percentage discount applied to the product or to the cart. It can be just a dollar amount off the product or the cart. You can set a minimum cart amount. So like you get $5 off, but you have to spend $20, but the $20 can be on anything. You can do that. You can set an expiration date. You can apply it only to certain emails. So people can only use it if they have a certain email address, or they can only use it a certain number of times. So there's tons of things that you can set just using the native coupon function. But they have to type in that coupon code. So if you just want something like, sale to be applied in cart, you're going to need a plugin for that. The one I've got here, Woo discount rules, it'll do all of that. And there's tons of stuff you can do with the free version of that plugin. So I actually, the lady who does the orthopedic course, she pivoted, started making face masks this week. And if you buy one mask, it's $15. But if you buy more than one, the price drops by 10%. So we were able to set up a discount rule where as long as there's more than one mask in the cart, you get the discounted rate. So as soon as you put two masks in, then they're $13.50 each. So that was really nice, and that was a free plugin that we used. I will say, I would limit the type of sale you want to use to a single plugin's capabilities for the most part, because I have worked on sites where people had like 5 or 6 different plugins all for coupons because they wanted different kinds of coupon deals. And that just like really slowed everything down. And they weren't all in use at the same time. And like I said, it's just, I would kind of just stay simple rather than bogging your site down with a bunch of crap. But Woo discount rules is a good one. The other thing she wanted to do is if you bought more than one mask, that it would be free shipping. But obviously, like there's a lot of handling and stuff that goes in with just one mask. There's not a big profit margin. So she wanted $3 payment for shipping for just a single mask. So we used the advanced flat rate shipping plugin, which was also free, to do that. So that was really easy to do. Basically, as long as something was in the category of face mask and there were more than one of them in the cart, a free shipping option popped up. If there's one, $3 shipping option popped up. But the hard part that we needed the plugin for was that we wanted it automatically applied, and we wanted to make sure that if they ordered something else, that the higher shipping rate would apply. Because she sells like things that are really heavy, like a 5-gallon tub of supplements. Well, we can't ship that for free just because somebody bought a mask. So we had to make sure that if something was from a different product category and it was also in the cart, that free shipping would not apply. So the advanced flat rate shipping plugin is really cool for that. So, oh, Marissa's on. Hi, Marissa. All right. Okay, so this might not apply to anybody here because it's, but B2B options, I think I've made more catalog sites than sites that process payments, possibly. And there are, I think, 3 or 4 really good plugins here that I've used to do it. And it's usually, like I said, it's usually a B2B type situation. Oh, you're welcome, TH Enterprises. You're welcome. Distributor pricing, actually, I've done this on B2C as well, is a company that does sales to both wholesalers and individuals. So this distributor pricing plugin, WooCommerce Wholesale Prices Premium, that's a really, really great one for wholesalers because your wholesaler needs to create an account and then you approve them before they can get that wholesale pricing. You can set the wholesale pricing so it's across the board. It's like 20% less for your wholesale customers, but you can set a cart minimum. So they have to order at least, say, a minimum order of $500 if you want to get your wholesale pricing or whatever it would be. And you can create it across categories too. So for instance, if you have a category that you don't have a margin on, that's big enough for, big enough to give them a discount, you can say, okay, no wholesale pricing is available for that product. Oh, hi, Lisa. Yes, you can absolutely have more than one coupon code active. You can have tons. Yeah. So, yes, wholesale pricing. That's a really, really great one. I'm trying to think if I had anything else to say about that. You have to be careful with the shipping on the wholesale prices line because the automatically calculated shipping, depending on how you set up, you might be doing only ground shipping for wholesalers if it's like a large order, depending on your type of product. And I decided not to get too much into shipping on this one just because it would be here all night. And but that's just something to keep in mind if you're working with somebody making a website for them where they do wholesale stuff. Shipping is always kind of like the most difficult to figure and be accurate kind of topic that I've run into. Quote request is a really good one. This website that's shown here, they have over 1,000 variations. This is like some electrical safety equipment. They've got over 1,000 variations of this equipment that they make that's dependent upon the original equipment manufacturer and then the type of equipment. And so they're not all in stock. Basically, like they have all these variations, but you have to contact them to make the equipment for you. So what we did, and the price depends on like how many you're ordering and where's it going to, because it's really kind of huge specialty stuff. So this, I don't know if it's YITH or YITH, WooCommerce Request a Quote. Every plugin I've used from this company has been great and easy to use. A little bit expensive maybe, but well worth it in the time it saves you for the most part and the functionality it gives. But this makes it so that it keeps the back end. Oh, they're a sponsor. Awesome. WordCamp US. I'm glad to give them a shout out then. Okay, so that yes, it was a sponsor is what Travis is saying. So yeah, it keeps the customer's information. So so basically you're not showing them a price, and they're basically loading the item into a cart, and then they're sending a salesperson an email saying, I'm interested in this. Can you get back to me the quote? The cool thing is that you can tie that into your customer management, your CRM, whatever it is you use. You can tie that in together to capture that information and get it to a salesperson who then can call that person back with the quote. If you want a more simple version of that, the YIF catalog mode is free. They also have a paid version, but the free one works great. And they basically turn your site into just a product catalog with no actual e-com function. It doesn't actually collect any information from people. And I'm well aware you could absolutely do that with, you can use custom post types. You could use it against custom fields. You could generate that in a lot of ways. But for WooCommerce, they've already got the base set up. So if the base works for you, it's a great little plugin. Yeah. Okay. Dinesh is saying, for someone that has never used these products but wants to learn the WordPress, WooCommerce to learn and build commercial sites. Oh, Dinesh. Okay. So you want to know, like, how do I get there, right? Like, how do I, and I apologize if I'm saying your name wrong. How do I become a developer who can, build commercial sites for people? My undergrad degree is in Japanese. My grad degree is in urban planning. So I'm not a developer, so that's exactly what I did. I built sites for, I kind of learned how to make sites when I was working for some companies doing other things. But when I decided that's what I wanted to do, I volunteered to make sites for people to put a little pressure on myself. I made my first e-commerce site was for my aunt. She was selling nursery plants from her nursery. And I probably put 2,000 hours. No, not 2,000. I put a lot of hours into learning how to do that site. And that was with Joomla many years ago. So yeah, for me, I always learn the most when I have to actually do it. And there's so many free resources out there. A lot of great places to learn. Even just the WP beginner site, lynda.com. What's the other one I like? I think it's called udemy.com. Have great classes. So I would do just like the online tutorials, the online classes, and then kind of force yourself to learn by picking out a project and just doing it. All right, what else we got? Oh man, guys, I'm glad I cut material because we're on number 4 here. All right, so the back end. This right here, if you have a big site, if you've got more than 30 or 40 products, buy the pro version of WP All Import with the WooCommerce add-on. Totally do it. Basically what it does is it allows you to manage your inventory in an Excel spreadsheet or whatever kind of spreadsheet you've got. You can also have your variations in there. So you can have the product name, the description, the variations, the price, the sales price, your the amount you have in stock. What else? The SKU number, a link to the image, all those kinds of things you can store in a spreadsheet. And you can import it using a drag and drop. I've got a screenshot here. You can use this drag and drop from your spreadsheet and upload it using this all import. This is really important for if you decide to raise all your prices by 10%, or if you've got a bigger client who is making changes across the board to a product category, because then you can update some of your fields using a new spreadsheet, but you don't have to update all your fields, and you don't have to open them up individually in the back end of your website to make changes to that product. So I absolutely love this plugin, and it's a great. It's fairly simple. It takes some practice, but once you get the hang of how it works, and it's really important that you have a SKU number. And if you're just starting your business, just make up SKU numbers that are unique come up with some kind of formula for how you do that, because that gives like a unique identifier to each product. So when you update them, it all kind of stays put together. So let's see, that's my top plugin for the back end. And then this is one I added this week. This is for that website I told you about with the muscle cars. Oh, you're right, Adam. Thank you. WP All Import works with ACF, Advanced Custom Fields. Very, very awesome. You're correct too, and I forgot WP Export. Also very, very important. So you can import and export. You can do custom fields on your products. And actually, that reminds me, I've used this other plugin. I can't remember what it's called. But it basically will send you, you can set it up to email you on a schedule your sales, which is awesome because somebody I saw in the sign up sheet, somebody was interested in drop shipping. And drop shipping really, really depends on the parameters of the company that you're drop shipping from. But the most simple way would be to have your website export a list of the products that belong to that drop shipper and have it emailed to them every night. That's the most simple way I can think of anyhow, so that those orders go right to them and they can fill them and, you know, move on your way. So anyhow, yeah, those are really good ones. So I just did this client proofing, I called it, by request. I usually give my clients access to absolutely everything in their website, but I've got one client who wanted a more simple background so that nothing got messed up, so that he could add products whenever he wanted, all that kind of thing. So I used user role editor. And so what I did was I said he only wanted access to products and posts. We didn't need everything else shown. Oh, my dog's whining at the door. So I used user role editor. I made him an author, and then I added on permissions just with the check boxes so that he could add and update products and posts. That way when he logs in, that's all he sees. He doesn't have to deal with like plugins. He doesn't see everything else at all. The other thing I did was, in testing this with somebody, the first thing they did was click that Divi button. Since I'm using Divi, I'm not using the Divi editor on the product pages, but the first thing he did was like click it on and off in some of the pages, and that destroys the layout. So if you go into the Divi role editor, which is not a plugin, it's part of the Divi theme, you can turn that off. And I didn't realize that like literally until this week. So we turned off Divi for him so that he only sees just the plain posts and the plain products and can just type right in there without worrying about anything. The other thing we did for him was to use Smush. I know there's a lot of like paid plugins and stuff like that. I use the free version of Smush and just set the upload limit for a photo so that it automatically resizes to no more than whatever our top theme size it was. I think it's like 1040 pixels or something like that for height and width, so that he doesn't have to resize photos before he uploads them, which is not best practice, but you got to go with what you know your user behavior is going to be and just make sure the site doesn't get too laggy. So yes, Matt, the Divi role editor is awesome. I can't believe I didn't know about that until this week. Always learning. So speaking of images, and I'm going to kind of buzz through the rest of this. So great pictures sell products. Big pictures, bad news for your site speed. So my favorite tip is remove.bg for taking the backgrounds out of your photos, because product photos without a background, or if you like use like a pattern, like a very, very subtle pattern background from Photoshop or something like that, after you've removed the background from your image, it's gonna look 1,000 times better. So there's a free version or a paid version if you want, like a subscription if you want higher res images. And then using an image compression plugin like Short Pixel. Travis has talked a lot about these in his optimization presentations, but yeah, make sure you've got a lot of images and make sure they don't bog down your site. Okay, this is the part I'm really going to buzz through because we've kind of covered it in this group before, but make your site fast. So yeah, speed's everything. Nobody wants to sit around for a slow website and try and buy something. So My biggest recommendations are to get a good host. We've talked about this in this group, WP Engine, SiteGround, Flywheel, and I think Mark uses, I want to say he just told me he used Greenhost, I think, or Green Geeks. I don't know, but yeah, use a good host. It's worth it. And if your product doesn't have the margins to cover that, you need to look at your product, like your pricing. Oh, this is my kiddo, by the way. That's Julian and Alama last year. Okay, yeah, limit the kind of stuff you're loading on your website. Pop-ups, analytics, heat maps, visitor recording, lead management, sharing videos, Instagram feeds, all that. Think about whether you really need it. And use Auto Optimizer, another plugin, to order those and reduce them as much as possible. Caching, WP Fastest Cache Premium, the free or the premium version are both fan favorites around here. We've got somebody, how does one-on-one compare for speed? Does anyone know? I'm not sure, and I would say there's so many different plans that people can be on too, whether it's shared or dedicated, that kind of thing. So anyhow, but if you're caching on with WooCommerce, make sure you exclude certain pages sometimes. So you probably need to exclude your account page and your cart page, or they won't work as intended. All right. Using a CDN, add speed and security for e-commerce. Mark Schwartz talked about this a lot. And I would say just everything that's important for a regular website, doubly important for e-com. Okay, so trust signals. Don't give anyone an excuse not to buy from you. So include the methods of payments in the footer. Use an SSL certificate, obviously. Include a physical address in your footer. Even if you don't want people coming to your house or wherever you need to have a physical address, even if you need to get that from like the UPS store or wherever it can provide you with an address. Make sure, contact info needs to be there. You have to share your email address and a phone number. Even if it's a forwarding phone number, I wouldn't buy from an e-commerce site that didn't tell me where they were and who they were. Obviously, reviews are huge. Social links, terms, conditions, shipping and return information. And then, whoops, going too far. I always encourage people to include a photo of themselves and their team. Or just, if it's just you selling things, like tell your story on the about page. I think it helps customer conversions, when people see who they're buying from. So definitely don't be shy. Talk about who you are and why you're selling what you're selling. So this one I'm going to keep real short. Obviously, if you want to run product ads in Google or Facebook, you need to submit a product feed. It also helps you show up in those shopping results if you're doing a search. The Product Feed Pro plugin that's listed here, you can use that to create that product feed and upload it to Google. You can you can create it yourself as well. And when I say upload it to Google, you need a Google Merchant account. Hopefully nobody has too intense questions. It's been a while since I've done that, but yeah, so you need to just do everything, right? Got your Google search console, Google Analytics installed, Google My Business account, and then Google Merchant Center. Hook them all together. Okay, and then this is my other SEO tip, which is minor but so important, which is let's include awesome, relevant, unique product descriptions. If you're not a writer, find somebody to help you write. Just talk all about your product. Have people ask you questions about your product and then answer those questions in your description. The more, the better, because people can't see it, feel it, touch it, all these things that help sell. So just create awesome product listings. Photo, a video if you have it, demo video, that kind of thing. I knew Travis would give me the 100 on the awesome content advice there. So, and then testing. Guys, I can't tell you how many websites I've built for people, and the owner has not bought something off their own website to test it out. They take my word for it, which is insane to me. Please, 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 whether you're making it yourself or somebody else made it for you, go through the process and make more than one order. And what I do is I ask people to try it, and I let them do it with whatever device they typically use, whether it's a phone, iPad, laptop, desktop, whatever. I've had my kids do this for me. Create a 99% off coupon. So people are spending like 14 cents, but it's not free because we needed to go through the payment gateway, right? And then just ask them to order. People are, hopefully people will be happy to help you with this. Ask them to order something and then actually talk to them. Don't just like email or text about it. Like talk to them and make sure that it made, that the process worked and that nothing unexpected happened. WooCommerce is, like I said, out of the box, it's great and it works, but you never know. You should go through the whole thing. Make sure those emails, they didn't go to somebody's spam. Make sure it all made sense. And what else? Oh yeah, additional basics. So it's cost of doing business, right? Update your plugins, your software, backups, security software, keep all your login info safe and in 2 places, know where your site's hosted and how to get to it at all times. It's just basics, so don't forget that. And a bonus. I was trying to keep this to 45 minutes. We have 4 minutes left. So lessons I learned from my ecom business. The number one thing I think was being ready to interact with your customers. So if you're setting this up as your business or if you're helping someone else set up theirs, be ready to answer questions and talk with people online, like, whatever channel it is, be ready to talk about your product a lot. And be ready to create content about your product. Those are the people who win at e-commerce. It's people, taking photos and showing the different ways in which their product can be used. Whether it's YouTube or whatever it is, be ready to talk about your products and create content that goes with them. And then be prepared that there's a cost of doing business online. So, and remember that it's a lot cheaper than having a storefront, but there's still some expense there. So don't be afraid to pay for things that are going to make your site work better, because that's going to get you more sales. So pay for the plugins, buy them from the original, plugin author. Don't get them from some third-party site. Just do it. You'll be happier. So anyhow, any other questions? These are me and my 2 little nuggets and my nephew. And here's my contact info. Travis.
Thanks, Sarah. We'll you and I will chat here for a few minutes, because if everybody who's watching this is like me, the questions are going to start rolling in as soon as we start wrapping it up. Thank you for the presentation. Everybody, you have Sarah's contact info there. Connect with her on LinkedIn and share tonight's presentation. Tell her she did a great job. Go on LinkedIn and endorse her for
WordPress do that.
And WooCommerce. That'll be even better. So a quick summary, Sarah. How many plugins do you use on average with a WooCommerce shop that you build?
Oh gosh.
I feel like WooCommerce is like it's not out of the box. You always like everything I do with WooCommerce. I'm like, all right, I've got a dozen plugins and I still need a dozen more.
Okay, so that is part of what I was saying with like the whole, like I've always been a big plugin user, but I've started to see why you would just start doing custom instead, kind of doing more stuff from scratch, because I use like a lot of plugins and it feels like it's an increasing number, which I don't love at all. And so I'd almost rather laser focus on what functionality I need and leave some of the other stuff out just to like minimize the bloat. But yeah, I don't know what number. Just standard. I almost always have to end up using one of the options for product types, right? Product options. Just because of like using swatches and including more stuff like that. I almost always use that Divi builder for WooCommerce now. I don't always use a discount one. I feel like that gets added later by the client, because then they decide there's like a fancy sale they want.
Yeah.
And so we end up adding stuff. So there's like a lot of like things that get added over time. And that's the stuff where I'm like, maybe we shouldn't do that.
Since nobody else has questions, I'm going to
Yeah.
keep asking questions.
Keep going, yeah.
So have you used the built-in Divi layout builder with WooCommerce, or are you still using your plugin version?
I prefer the plugin version, and the reason is that clients usually want to add products on their own later, and it is typically easier for them to add the WooCommerce. When you're just typing in your product info, it's very simple. So if I can just apply the template in the back end, kind of, looks like Justice has to run. And where was I saying there? Sorry, I'm so easily distracted. Yeah, so I can apply a template to a product, and it can change the way it displays on the front end, but they're just typing in the info about that product on the back end. That's why I do it that way. I don't want them to use Divi Builder, because when they see Divi Builder, they're like, where does the stuff go? Like, where does the information go? I have to open up all these boxes and then paste in the info, or use the front end version, which can also be confusing for people. So that's why I do it that way.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I try
I'm
to make it
referring
easier.
to a little more of the newer layout builder that's inside Divi, to where you can. It sounds like it's very similar to the plugin that you use. So
Yeah. And that
okay.
So the deal is that you can do a drag and drop product layout and have it apply to like all the products in a category, but really on the back end, you're just typing in your normal, you're like normally pasting in your info. And honestly, using Divi Builder, I haven't used the All Import Pro. Although I imagine it would probably play well together, but I haven't done that before. And let's see, did I say that WooCommerce built-in plugger worked well with Elementor? No, that's a Divi specific one, Corey. The WooCommerce Builder plugin, that was a Divi specific. And then let's see, it says Marissa said for the quotes part for the products, can that be used for services too? Would you be absolutely, if you're putting your service as a product, like a 2-hour block of, I don't know, 2-hour massage or something like that, absolutely. Otherwise, though, is that what do you think that's what Marissa means, Travis?
Yeah, I think it's like basically so you got service offerings and needs a direct quote for the specific service offering, kind of build the package that way. Yeah.
Yep.
Have you done a lot with something that I look out for from a lot of my sites are subscription based and membership based? Have you used WooCommerce a lot for subscription models?
You know what? I don't have any subscription sites. I thought about that earlier today. That's one of the few types of sites that I know it can be used for that I've never done.
Okay.
Yep.
I was just curious about experiences. My
I know there's
experience
lots of plugins. I know there's lots of ways to do it, and I've even suggested it, I think, to people before, but I just don't have anybody who offers anything on that basis right now. No. Oh, it looks like, is it launch? Is that you, Janet?
Yeah, that's Janet.
Oh, cool. I will connect with you on LinkedIn. Thank you.
So thank you again, Sarah. Thank you to everybody who came out tonight for this presentation. We're always looking for presenters, and it sounds like from the comments and questions that were asked, we've got lots of people who attended tonight who probably have the abilities and the talents to be able to present. So if you're interested in presenting, just go to wpkansascity.org/submit-presentation and submit your topic that you'd like to present. And we will reach back out to you to find out where your presentation fits in with our calendar and which session it fits in. And so again, thank you, Sarah. I'm just going to flash up all these thank yous.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Carissa, Lisa, Matt, Janet, Greg. Thank you all.
Oh, there we go. Janet wants to know more about membership sites and WordPress. Maybe that'll be an idea for a future presentation.
That is a good one, because well, it wasn't really a membership site. I have one kind of, I did a while ago. It was kind of an interesting application. It was complex. It was probably more complex than a normal membership site, but it was something where people were getting DNA tested and then getting like nutritional recommendations. So they like basically ordered the kit on WooCommerce. Then the results were shared to them via a private membership page for their, like a personal page. And then it actually had somebody build a plugin that coordinated with Easy Text. And so it was like a mass texting system. So it could text people when the results were there. And then in the back end, the owner of the shop would like preload a cart with all the recommended supplements. And so obviously that's where you're making your money, is selling people the supplements then. So then somebody could log in and see their pre-filled cart, and then they could choose to buy the cart. Then they could like take things in and out of the cart or whatever. And but we did use some like a membership plugin to create that interface, because they had some private pages in there to like communicate back and forth. I'd have to look up what I used for that.
Sounds like another presentation coming soon from Sarah. All right. Thank you very much, Sarah. Do you have any last words, or is this a goodbye for now?
No, my one great regret for life right now is that I meant to start out this presentation by saying, hey, all you cool cats and kittens. And then I forgot.
Did you come up with a cool sign off?
That was well, but you haven't seen, so Travis, this is so wasted on you because you haven't seen Tiger King. But that's how Carol Baskin started all of her radio show, and that's what I feel like I'm on right now. So I'm disappointed, but otherwise, that's all I got.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Right. Bye, guys. Thanks.
We'll see you at the end of the month for another exciting WordPress Kansas City presentation.
Online.
Goodbye until then.
Stay safe.